As we waited for our new CEO to arrive, my coworkers gossiped. They'd heard she was a total knockout, stunning, fit the works. I was just about to chime in when, the woman stepping out of the elevator? I froze. My powerhouse, this heiress. It was my ex-girlfriend, the one I dumped 4 years ago. She marched toward her office. We followed, bracing ourselves. Anan was ice cold, all elegance and poise. Only I knew the other side of her. She stood tall. As of today, I'm the executive head of Chen Group. We're a team, but I expect total compliance. No independent moves. She turned to me. Introduce yourself. I kept my voice steady. I'm Chao Chen, your assistant. I handle your daily schedule, including all business trips. After she dismissed us, my mind was racing. My coworker Ye Junhao kept calling my name. Chen? Earth to Chen, you okay? I tried to play it cool. Yeah, I'm fine. The guys were still gushing. Man, she's gorgeous. That figure? She could be a runway model. Flawless. One of them laughed. Wonder if she's the clingy type in private? I muttered. She's not just clingy, she's suffocating. He frowned. What was that? Back in her office, her phone rang. I could picture her answering. Anan, you're back in the country? Yeah. Why shouldn't I be? It's not that, the caller pressed. But why Chenan? Do you know Chao Chen is working there? She snapped. Never heard the name. Lying, as always. What about the violet and lamb tattoos? The caller goaded. She just hung up. I knew why she got them. Violets were my favorite, and I'm an Aries. I sat at my desk spiraling. 4 years. She's probably married by now, right? I was so lost in thought I didn't notice Junhao hovering again. Chen, what's wrong? I pulled myself together, forcing a tired smile. Just a rough night. Didn't sleep much. What's up? HR says there's no suitable assistant yet. They want us to pick one of our own to fill the role temporarily. Who's going? I asked. I wasn't desperate for the cash, but Fang Zheng needed it to save for a wedding house with his girl. Junhao looked at me. Actually, you're the best fit. You basically acted as the previous CEO's assistant anyway. I shivered. She was terrifying. Just then, the woman herself walked down the stairs. Her step faltered as she caught my eye. I'm terrifying? She asked, voice cool. Hardly. The guys didn't catch on. She's not scary at all. Honestly, I envy her boyfriend. How could anyone resist that face? I nearly choked on my spit. Boyfriend? Try husband. She was engaged 4 years ago. And I've seen her smile, I added, quieter. Fang Zheng shoved his phone in my face. Look at this. She went to our university. She was the campus queen. You didn't know her? He asked. I scoffed. She's out of my league. Out of your league? You're joking. They laughed. You've been dodging love notes all month, and you claim you're plain? I didn't answer. Suddenly, the air went dead silent. Everyone stood up. There she was. I felt sick. How long had she been standing there? Fang Zheng scrambled. Shoo. So sorry. Let us know if you need anything. She glanced around. HR should have told you. I need a temporary assistant. She looked right at the three of us. I've reviewed your resumes. Ye Junhao, your client list is heavy. You and Chao Chen will coordinate. Chen, you're on lead for the schedule. The rest you handle. I blurted out. Actually, I'm not the best fit. Junhao has more experience. She narrowed her eyes. Are you the CEO, or am I? She turned on her heel and stepped into the elevator. My coworkers were shocked. I was panicking. What was I supposed to do now? Why the long face? This is a promotion. Better perks, better pay. I didn't want the perks. I wanted out. There's gotta be a way to get out of this. Relax, they said. Maybe she's not as bad as the rumors say. An hour later, I was outside her door, heart hammering. Even after 4 years, her voice still made me hurt. I put on my best professional mask and pushed the door open. She was typing, not even looking up, but I knew she'd been tracking my silhouette since I hit the glass. I don't have experience for this role, I said. She finally looked up. You're not happy with the transfer? Tell me. In what capacity are you feeling this dissatisfaction? I bit my tongue. She was my boss now. If you don't like it, feel free to resign, she said coldly, like we were complete strangers. Resign? After grinding for 4 years to reach $18,000 a month plus bonuses? Actually, I had a question. Does my salary change with this shift? She tapped her fingers on the desk. You're at $18,000 now, right? She stared me down, and my professional smile started to crack. I'm just asking, I said. Since this is a transfer, is there a probationary period where my salary gets cut? I realized what she was doing. She was trying to force me to work for probationary pay. I was being played. How much is the probation salary then? She made a quick call. 12,000. She hung up and looked at me with zero warmth. Still have questions, Assistant Xiao? I pulled off my ID badge. No questions. I quit. As I turned, her voice drifted over, light and dangerous. If I recall, your contract was renewed last year. It covers sensitive data, so there's a 30-day notice period. If you leave early, you owe the company 24 months of salary. That's 432,000. I'll make it 43. Keep the change. Consider it a favor, she added. I almost snapped. Did I have to bow and thank her for the $2,000 discount? I knew it. He was playing me, making my life a living hell just to spite my team. I stood up, ready to file a formal complaint, and walked straight out the door. It's a small world in this business. Get ready to change careers, I thought. I've reached my limit, Anan. What was the point of forcing me like this? You want me to beg? I'd rather quit. I didn't even look back, just ripped open the glass door and headed for the assistant's office. Once inside, I finally broke down. 4 years of this. What more do you want from me? After I let it all out, I opened my laptop. I sent my resignation to the HR director. Less than a minute later, Anan knew. The director called me immediately. Chen, are you sure? Are you unhappy with the pay? You've been here 4 years, you're a star performer. I know 26,000 feels low, but the bonuses are great. I was confused. Director, what are you talking about? Did you miss the email? Anan gave your team a raise. 8,000 more for you. I clicked open the unread mail from 5 minutes ago. My salary had been adjusted. It started this month. So he didn't actually cut my pay. Chen, I'm still here, the director said. It was Anan's idea. When he moved you to head assistant, he pushed for the raise. I just finalized it. I hung up, feeling like I was in a dream. But that was 2 hours ago. Why would he treat me like garbage back there? As the president's assistant, I'm tied to his schedule. He leaves, I leave. My phone buzzed. A group chat popped up. Anan is a god, no more overtime. Compared to him, my old boss was a monster. Chen, why are you so quiet? Are you too busy? I looked at the new chat, just the 3 of us and Anan. He just messaged, no overtime unless it's an emergency. The others replied instantly. I stayed silent. I didn't want to engage. I just sent that resignation email. Surely he knew? Forget it. I'm just a corporate pawn. I calmed down and headed for the stairs. As I passed, Anan stood up, grabbing his keys and phone. When the elevator opened, the 3 of them froze. You guys getting in or not? Yi pulled them inside. Fang Zheng looked at me concerned. Chen, you okay? The woman beside us asked. I shook my head, just tired. I stepped out, but Yi and Fang Zheng trailed after me. Chen, you make 40 grand a year with bonuses. Why keep this junk scooter? Yi rattled his car keys. There's a massive government subsidy for new cars right now. I smiled and tapped my own keys. Why change it? It works fine. I've got other plans for my money. Let's grab food. Barbecue? Hot pot? No thanks. Just moved into a new place, still settling in. I couldn't tell him about my dog. Come over for hot pot once it's clean. Anan watched us leave. His driver pulled up in a white Phantom. Anan made a call. Find out where Chen's new place is. Yuanxun laughed. Thought you didn't care? Anan stayed silent. Fine, Shu, give me 10 minutes. Traffic was a nightmare, but my little scooter zipped through the gridlock. The driver sneered, who even likes those things? One hit and it's just a frame. Anan asked, so they aren't safe? Are you kidding? They're death traps. You'd need a high-end model to get real airbags. If you hit, Shu, what are you doing? I said hit it. The driver slammed the gas, ramming my bike. Anan didn't even flinch. My scooter wobbled violently. Can't you be careful? You'll kill someone. I'm not going fast. I barely touched the pedal. The Phantom crunched into my bike. Bystanders stared, baffled by the Phantom chasing a scooter. I was in shock. I was a novice driver. Usually, I'm the one rear-ending people. Wait, I got hit? I checked the mirror, a Rolls Royce. Oh no. Do I have enough to pay for this? I'm doomed. I checked my WeChat balance. 58,000. That should cover it. That's every cent I have. A knock on the window startled me. My heart was pounding. I took a deep breath and rolled it down. A plain-looking man smiled nervously. So sorry, buddy. I didn't break in time. Can you get out and check the damage? We'll take full responsibility. He seemed sincere. I had to get out. I walked to the back. When I saw the dented Rolls Royce, my world went dark. My future looked bleak. You're really taking full responsibility? The driver turned to the woman inside. Miss, we have to pay for a new one. Don't make this hard for me, I whispered. I touched the scuffed tail of my bike. Forget it. You guys look worse off than me. I'll handle it. Anan stepped out. The driver reported miss. He says he doesn't need compensation. Anan glared at him, then turned to me. Sorry, my driver was reckless. I'll compensate you. The driver's eyes widened. Wait, you told me to hit him. I heard a familiar voice. Anan? She gave a cold, dismissive nod. Does the company need to buy you a new one, or will you? No, it's fine. Really? Anan paused. Come to my office tomorrow morning. Buy a car? Probably just to get me another exact copy. Seriously, Shu, it's just paint. It's a very practical vehicle. She scoffed. Practical? I was confused, but before I could finish, she shocked me. She jumped back into the Phantom and reversed. I realized her plan. I dove in front of my bike. Anan, are you insane? Stop. The bystanders were stunned. Who yells at the boss like that? She rolled down the window. Old Shu, move him. The driver reluctantly grabbed me. Sorry, sir. Then a loud crunch. My bike was a wreck. I struggled free, furious. You sick? Why smash my bike? She didn't even glance at her ruined car. It was a limited edition. Are all rich people this unhinged? She walked over. My office tomorrow. Take the keys. I ignored her and called my insurance. She just leaned against her trashed car, waiting, ready to finish this standoff. An walked over to me, looking worried. He asked cautiously, Bossu, should we call our insurance? I scoffed. Call for what? You think I can't pay for a beat-up little car? Brother, An said, looking at the wreck beneath him. What about your own car? I replied, standing by the road on my phone. I'm calling for repairs. If it's toast, it's toast. An let out a sigh of relief. It wasn't totaled at least. But it was rush hour, so it took the insurance adjusters 90 minutes to show up. They looked at the overturned Phantom in Woolen and asked nervously, Mr. Chao, are you sure he hit you? You didn't just flip the car yourself? I snapped, are you blind? Stop the nonsense, just get me a quote and make him pay. I was absolutely fuming. You really are like a bad penny, An. I never catch a break when you're around. Once the accident report was filed, I remembered my electric scooter at home. Handle the rest, please. Call me if there's an issue. After telling the staff, I grabbed my valuables and started walking toward the overpass. Xuan sighed, watching me weave through traffic, and followed. I turned and shouted, "Stop following me!" "Why? Do you own this road? Why can't I walk here?" I didn't care anymore, just kept pushing forward. Thankfully, my new place was just 2 stoplights past the bridge, not too far, or I would have collapsed. I had snagged a sweet deal on a small 1-bedroom apartment from a couple moving out. As I entered the building, I glanced back instinctively. He wasn't there. I breathed a sigh of relief, unaware that the second I turned away, a woman stepped out of the shadows. Xuan stood downstairs, clocking the time. When the light on the 8th floor flickered on, he smirked. "Chao Chen, you'll never shake me." I unlocked the door, heard a whimpering sound, and immediately scooped him up. "Lightning, Daddy's home. Don't blame your mom. Actually, blame that terrible woman for making me so late." Lightning is a corgi I got when I was with Xuan. When we broke up, I swiped him before Xuan noticed. After a shower, I decided to take Lightning for a walk and grab dinner. Maybe he'd been cooped up too long. Lightning took off the second we hit the street. "Slow down, Lightning," I groaned. This pup was a powerhouse. Was I walking the dog, or was the dog walking me? As we reached the complex gate, Xuan happened to be in his car. Through the rear view, he spotted a familiar figure and slammed on the brakes. Seeing me jogging with the dog, he let out a bitter laugh. "So, you didn't just steal my heart, you stole my dog, too." The day we broke up, I had been wasted at a bar. When I got home, the door was ajar and the dog was gone. I figured he'd wandered off. I'd offered a huge reward but never found him. Who knew he was actually stolen? Little brat, stop running. You're going to kill me." I was starving and wanted wontons from across the street, so I grabbed the leash tight and crossed. Xuan watched the man and dog enter the shop before telling his driver to move on. Lightning seemed to sense something. He kept looking back and barking. I glanced out the door and saw a black car pulling away. I scolded him, "What are you barking at?" "Quiet!" After dinner, I got a text from the insurance company. They said Xuan wanted to settle privately and provided his number. Plus, the contract paid out $55,000 for the damages. I put Lightning in his bed, crouched down, and whispered to him. "Lightning, I saw him again. He hasn't changed at all. Still just as annoying." I sat on the floor, petting his head. "What do we do now, Lightning? I'm trying so hard to forget him. Why does he keep showing up? He must be married by now, right?" The pup sensed my sadness and nuzzled my hand. "Do you want your real dad or a stepdad? If you want the latter, I'm sending you back. Quit it." After Lightning whined, I patted his head, put him away, and climbed into bed. I switched to my secondary phone account. In the blocked list, there was one person, the same one in my work group. He hadn't changed his WeChat. Had he been waiting for me all this time? I acted on impulse and unblocked him. Xuan, fresh out of a shower, sat on the sofa in his robe, phone in one hand and red wine in the other. "If you're so over it, why look up my address? Planning a midnight dog napping or some revenge? A breakup doesn't have to be this dramatic." Suddenly, Xuan asked, "When did his mother pass?" "Must have been 6 months after you two split." Xuan opened WeChat, his finger instinctively hovering over that pinned contact. The last message was from 4 years ago, the day the dog went missing. "Chen, don't leave me. Why would you give up Lightning too?" He scrolled through hundreds of unsent messages. With a few taps, he hit send. Xuan set down his wine, hoping to take it back, but it was too late. He had no choice but to send a friend request through the workgroup. After waiting minutes with no reply, he muttered, Fine. You're playing hard to get, Chen." The next morning, the dog licked me awake before the alarm. I'm late, Lightning." I hugged him close, ruffled his fur, and grabbed my phone. I saw a notification. Just as I went to check it, the phone slipped and smacked the dog on the head. He yelped, and I immediately kissed him, then went back to the screen. The guy I unblocked last night had sent a few words. "You stole my dog." I grabbed the dog's snout, feigning indignation. "Lightning, did you sneakily tell him you're here? Answer me. Don't I treat you well?" Lightning, snout held tight, looked completely innocent. He was clearly the victim here. I didn't reply. I wanted to block him again, but that felt like admitting guilt. Forget it, I'll just switch accounts. Once I did, I saw another friend request. My instinct was to hit reject, but then I remembered, he's my boss now. It'd be career suicide to ignore it, right? Whatever. What kind of sane boss adds employees in the middle of the night? After washing up, I remembered my car was totaled. I'd have to take a cab. The wait took 10 minutes. By the time I sprinted into the lobby, I was cutting it close. Just as the elevator doors were closing, I yelled, "Hold the door." I clearly didn't check my horoscope. Xuan was standing there with the finance director. I froze. I was trapped. I had to walk in anyway. The bonus was more important than the awkwardness. "Morning, Boss Shu." "Director Zhang. Rare to see you cutting it close, Chao." Because of the message from earlier, I couldn't look the woman beside him in the eye. Did he know I had Lightning, or was that a mistake? I had to take a cab, so it took longer. "A cab? Where's your electric scooter?" "Someone totaled it." "Who was it?" "Driving that badly?" I chuckled silently. "It was the guy standing right next to you, obviously." Honestly, his driving really was terrible. The elevator stopped at the 16th floor. The finance director waved and stepped out. It was just Xuan and me. The atmosphere turned suffocatingly awkward. I stared at the floor numbers until we hit 30. As soon as the door opened, I bolted. I headed straight for the stairwell. Before the two people in the hallway could say a word, I blew past them like a gust of wind. Was that Chao Chen? Ye Junhao was about to reply when he saw Shu An, so he set his coffee down and stood up. Boss Shu. By the time Fang Zheng realized and went to greet him, Shu An had already stepped into the next elevator. Fang Zheng asked curiously, why was Chao Chen in such a rush? Just because he was in the elevator with the boss? Also, why is he late? He's usually the first one here. I made it into my office a second before the elevator doors closed. Shu An could see the glass door of my office rattle. He smirked. Coward. He thought to himself, Chao Chen, it's been so long, and you've become such a chicken. It was just the same elevator. Was I really that scary? I grabbed my laptop and headed to the office next door. I was debating whether to knock, but the door swung open, and I nearly smashed it into Shu An's face. He looked at me playfully. Meeting time, Assistant Chao. Does he have a grudge against me? I ignored his teasing and just held out my hand. Shu An chuckled at my gesture. What is it? Money or the car? I'll give you the keys later. I rolled my eyes and left. He watched me walk away thinking, Chao Chen, you're a terrible ex. A good ex should act like they're dead. But you keep showing up again and again. What exactly are you trying to prove? I was running the meeting, and honestly, I hate to admit it, but there is something weirdly addictive about a cold case. By the time I snapped out my thoughts, the room was already clearing out. Ye Junhao and Fang Zheng were packing up. They gave me a look that basically said, good luck, you're on your own. I shut my laptop, but just as I stood up, someone tapped my shoulder. It had been a 2-hour meeting, and Chao had spent 90 minutes of it just staring at me. Planning something, Assistant Chao? I asked. She dodged my eyes, looking guilty. Don't start with the rumors, she snapped. How do you even know I was looking at you? Unless you're into me, Mr. Shu. I pivoted, keeping things professional. Did you get my message last night, Chao? She went silent. Too fast to answer, huh? Feeling guilty already? And what about my missing dog? I pushed. She coughed, trying to play it cool. Mr. Shu, you need proof. We're not that close, so why would you assume I stole your dog? Seeing her denial, my smile only deepened. I kept moving closer. She backed up with every step until she was pinned against the conference table. What are you doing? I have a missing dog, sure, but I never said you were the one who took it. And about us not being close, I thought you knew my favorite things by heart. Is that what you call not close? So Chao, what do you think I like best? That's probably something for your wife to know, she shot back. I only know what my girlfriend likes. Now move, I have work to do. I leaned in. Chao, say that again. Whose girlfriend? Mr. Shu, you're young, but you need help. I know a specialist at Zhangcheng Hospital. Go get yourself checked out and get lost. I watched her scurry away, then headed back to my office with a cold smirk. Meanwhile, inside the office, He Jiao was sprawled on the sofa, gaming. Push, are you guys blind? Why are you hesitating? I swear, this team is hopeless. She angrily shut the game down and tossed her phone onto the cushions. The moment she looked up, she saw me storming in, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the walls. I glanced at her legs resting on the coffee table. Get your feet off my table, I said, my voice sharp. She could tell I was in a mood. Still upset about your girl, Shu? She teased. Keep your mouth shut if you have nothing useful to say. I don't care about that woman. She burst out laughing. Oh really, who else could I be talking about? Just admit it, Anan. You're still in love with her. Even after 4 years, you haven't forgotten a thing. Still in love? Keep dreaming, He Jiao. You've lost your mind. She didn't bite, just leaned back lazily and murmured. Let me remind you, you've got no girlfriend, and now your dog is gone too. You're pathetic, President Shu. My pen hovered over the paper. I pulled out my phone and tapped I found the dog thief. He Jiao stared at me. No way. You found the thief after 4 years? Which one, the dog or the person? I spoke slowly. Both. I picked up the desk phone. Over in the office next door, I was busy organizing the schedule when the office line rang. Chao, bring 2 coffees in here. I hesitated. Was I really the coffee runner? Wasn't that Fang Zheng's job? Shu Anan cut me off. If not you, who? Stop talking and get to work. Yes, Mr. Shu, I replied quickly. He Jiao almost choked on her lollipop hearing that tone. She gave him a thumbs up. Bold Shu, talking to your ex like that? I'm her boss. Why wouldn't I talk to her like that? He looked at He Jiao. Why are you still hanging around? She blinked. 2 coffees, right? I've been here a while. Is this how you treat guests? 1 person, 2 cups. I like coffee, so what? Fine, fine. I'll just wait to see you eat your words. Not a chance. A knock at the door. It was Chao with the coffees. Seeing He Jiao there, she looked genuinely awkward. He Jiao grinned. Chao, long time no see. Got time for a coffee with me? Of course, she replied politely. After work, though. From behind the desk, the room turned ice cold. Assistant Chao, do I need to remind you that this is work hours? I heard Shu Anan's voice, chilly and clearly annoyed. It hadn't changed. He still couldn't stand me interacting with other guys. Your coffee, Mr. Shu, I said. As I turned to leave, he snapped. Did I say you could leave? He Jiao got the hint. I'm out. Don't let me interrupt your reunion. Once the door shut, Shu Anan looked up slowly. Chao, what are your duties as an assistant? To assist with all of your work, of course. He nodded but didn't let up. He took a sip of the coffee. It was lukewarm, and he nearly gagged. You did that on purpose, didn't you? I kept a polite smile. Mr. Shu, you didn't specify which coffee. I knew his habits. I'd intentionally served him the instant coffee instead of the fresh brew. I wouldn't mess with a client, but for him, anything goes. Shu Anan gritted his teeth. I'd sooner believe it was snowing outside than trust a word out of Chao's mouth again. Work started, and I ran through the day's itinerary. Shu Anan, he listened, then tossed his car keys onto the desk. To cover your car. No need, Mr. Xu. My car isn't worth a single wheel of yours. The insurance already paid for the damage. Trying to throw money at me? Just like his mother. Replacing it is only fair. Or you can take the cash. He pivoted. Right, Chao. Why haven't you added me on social media? If I have an emergency, how am I supposed to reach you? Through the work group? Before I could answer, he added, are you going to accept now, or do I need to tag you in the group chat? I pulled out my phone immediately. I accepted it right in front of him. Happy now? He nodded, satisfied. Get back to work. Just as I walked away, Anan called out again. Why couldn't he just say everything at once? I turned back with a professional mask. Anything else, Mr. Xu? Is this your only number? I felt my chest tighten and nodded. He waved me away, impatient. He was afraid if I stayed any longer, he'd lose his cool again. It's been 4 years. Why am I the only one who stayed miserable? Not anymore. Chao, you walked back into my life, and you're not getting away again. Once I was out of his office, I breathed a sigh of relief. He felt different today, but then I remembered I hadn't installed security cameras at my new place yet. I ordered 2 cameras online right away. At lunch, I scanned the staff cafeteria, but Anan was nowhere to be seen. Fang Zheng chimed in, the new boss isn't bad. The old one was always picking fights, but at least Xu is direct. That old manager was a nightmare. I told you once, why do I need you as a secretary? While we chatted, Ye Chunhao asked about the morning. Chao, were you running from a ghost or something? Don't ask. My car flipped last night. Are you hurt? I shook my head and told them everything. Yi Junhao and Fang Zheng exchanged a look. Something's fishy. They leaned in, eyes gleaming. Come on, Chao, tell the truth. Did you know him before? Why would he crash into your car of all things? I gritted my teeth. Because he's insane. Yi Junhao's eyes went wide. Are you crazy? This is a cafeteria. If he hears you, you're dead. Fang Zheng, who'd been quiet, finally spoke. Wait, you two aren't exes, are you? I nodded. Yep. He's the guy I broke up with 4 years ago. I glared at them. Is that supposed to be a badge of honor? Fang Zheng asked. Did he pay for the car? Yeah, BMW. Why wouldn't I take it? If I had an ex that rich and good looking, even if we broke up, I'd still be down for a hookup. I lowered my voice and added, but I think he knows I'm the one who stole his dog. Ye Junhao 和方正同时对我抱拳，兄弟，保重这事儿，可千万别让那坏女人知道，她整人的手段，我可不敢想。午休时，许安安就在隔壁办公室，我趴在桌上怎么也睡不着，怕睡着了又梦见他真是见鬼。下班前手机响了，是他的消息。来我办公室，我关了电脑，抓起手机，学着他的语气，板着脸念叨：来我办公室逗狗呢。我冷哼一声，转身往总裁办公室走。站在门口，深吸一口气，我敲门进去。许总，您找我。许安安坐在屏幕前，指了指旁边的沙发。我扫了一眼，沙发上放着几个礼品袋，总不能让我坐着等吧？以他对我的厌恶，没让我跪着等就不错了。稍等5分钟，见我没动，他开口了。说完，他戴上耳机，指了指沙发，说里面有衣服，选一套，换上换。不然呢？赶紧的，别耽误时间。我推辞道：许总，我觉得这身挺好的，不用换。许安安冷笑嘲讽道：你打算穿着这套廉价货陪你的老板去见大客户？廉价这也太过分了，这是我最贵的一身，他是不是有病？随后我稳住情绪，许总，你的审美有问题，正装见客户才是礼仪，见我还不开窍。他抬眼玩味一笑。会议5分钟后结束，你可以纠结，但如果到时候你还是选不出来，我不介意帮你一套套挑。我退后2步，这女人真是个神经病。她淡淡补了一句：洗手间在里面，进去换。我拒绝。她点头起身，瞬间我抓起袋子冲进休息室，反锁房门，心跳平复后，我打量起这间跟我公寓一样大的休息室，还是她喜欢的样板间风格。我翻遍了袋子，选了套深蓝色西装，刚准备解开衬衫扣子，休息室门开了，我手一抖，衣领大敞，露出一片锁骨。我低声骂了句：催什么催，跟催命一样。许安安解释说，她也要换衣服。我烦躁地喊：再换衣服，马上就好，等不了。时间来不及了。门开后，她打量着那身蓝色西装，面上无波，心里却想着怎么这么不合身。我捂着衣服，许总，我先出去了。站住！我没动。她不耐烦地靠近，我一愣。许总，你虽然上司，但你也不能。我感受到她的手指触碰到了我的纽扣，她像看智障一样瞥我一眼，下一秒竟然解开我锁骨处的扣子，重新系好。我愣在原地，眼神迷茫，原来只是为了系扣子。许安看着我的反应，轻笑一声：乔助理，不出去是想在这看老板换衣服吗？我这才反应过来，抓起换下的衣服落荒而逃。许安安从衣柜拿出一套蓝色晚礼服，换上，脑海里闪过给阿晨系领带的画面。那时候的他真帅，现在的他更帅了。别做梦了，他苦笑。自己是被他丢掉的女人。整理裙摆时，他看到地上闪过一道金属光芒，那是一枚戒指，看样子应该是阿晨的。他顺手放进包里。而我回到办公室，突然感觉小拇指一空，戒指呢？早上出门还在的，掉哪儿去了？许安安走过来看，我蹲在地上找东西，抿了抿红唇问：你在干嘛？我在找东西。许总，戒指丢了，可以找一下休息室吗？可以，你自己去吧。许安安看着我离去的背影，心想一个戒指而已，怎么比我还重要？真吃醋了。他习惯性帮我整理东西，拿了钥匙就出了办公室，反应过来时已出门口。许安安，你真是病得不轻，照顾他成瘾了吗？分手这么多年， 怎么还这么顺手？习惯真可怕。他回办公室时看见我还在那儿自言自语，看见他回来，我立刻起身。您什么时候回来的？我接过钥匙，谢谢。刚刚换衣服时，有看见一枚铂金戒指吗？他疑惑摇头，没看见。很贵吗？我摇摇头，不贵，但送我的人很重要。是谁有多重要？你不认识，但对我来说非常重要。他眸底闪过一丝悲伤，幽怨地盯着我。我意识到饭局快开始了。徐总，咱们走吧。他点头往外走，我跟在身后，心里琢磨着那一会儿开车到底谁开？是我开他的车吗？电梯到地下室，我看见那辆黑色商务车，司机帮后座开了门，许安安直接上车。我站在原地疯狂盘算坐哪儿合适。按理说该陪老板坐后座交流工作，但我实在不想跟他靠太近，真是麻烦。他在车里看，我愣着，怎么还要我？请你上车。听罢，我拉开副驾坐了上去，礼貌向司机打招呼：“你好，我是新助理乔晨。”司机看了眼后座，没敢接话。许安安感受到视线，抬眼冷道：“看什么？找我有事吗？”司机见没指示，对我礼貌一笑：“你好，乔助理，我是徐总的司机，我叫宋佳，喊我小宋就行。”我一会儿，那你舅舅呢？庆亨刚才还在我面前摆架子，对别人倒挺能聊。看这架势，我不坐后座是对的，不然更尴尬。我舅舅去给徐总修车了，今天代班。我们正聊得欢，后座女人轻叹一声：“还走不走？要不我在前开车，你俩去后面继续聊。”小宋赶紧关门：“抱歉，徐总。”车子启动，我也不敢说话，继续琢磨接子的事。打开密室群，问了一圈都没见着。此时许安安正好能看到我手机屏幕，他冷哼提醒乔助理：“以前陪客户也这么爱玩手机吗？”我一顿收起手机，抱歉，徐总，只是回个消息。随后我再也没敢看屏幕。车到酒店，小宋问要不要陪同我，惊讶许安安摇头：“小宋，去吃饭吧，2小时后再过来。”下车后，我顺手跟小宋交换了联系方式。看见这动作，许安安脸都青了，心想：阿晨，我真的生气了，凭什么加我你不回，加别人却这么积极，太伤人了。他没等我径直走进酒店，包厢里合作商带了男伴，他环视一圈：“抱歉，大家我来晚了。”没晚，快给徐总倒酒。身旁男人刚起身，被他抬手制止：“不必了，刘总，我有男伴。”我秒懂，拿起红酒醒酒壶，给他和自己各倒了半杯。连身为上司的他都逃不过，更何况我这牛马助理戒指没找着，心情更差。我想透透气，在他耳边低声说：“徐总，我去下洗手间。”他轻应一声，我拿着手机起身离开。就在这时，听见一个猥琐的声音。I grabbed the decanter and poured half a glass for Shu Anan and myself. Since she's the boss, she couldn't escape a drink, and as her overworked assistant, I certainly couldn't either. Besides, I just lost my ring, so I really needed one. Needing some air, I leaned toward her and whispered that I was headed to the restroom. She gave a faint nod. Just as I turned to leave with my phone, I heard a sleazy voice. "Hey, Missy, why are you here alone? Come keep me company and have a drink. Maybe I'll sign that deal." The room went dead silent. I turned quickly. A pompous middle-aged guy was leering at Shu Anan. He was new to these dinners, clueless that she was the famous boss herself, thinking she was just some assistant. He started getting fresh. Anan set her glass down, her gaze icy. The air froze. The man actually looked nervous, his eyes darting away under her stare. Just as she opened her mouth, I spoke up clearly. "Shuzong, could you step out for a moment? We have business." Anan looked at me, surprised, a faint smile touching her lips. She caught on instantly. Standing up, she told them to excuse her. She gave the middle-aged man a cold look. He turned ghost white, sweat beading on his forehead. He slumped back. It was over. Completely ruined. He realized he'd insulted the legendary Shu Anan. Once we were out, she was visibly trembling with rage, breathing hard. I reached over. I tapped her back to calm her. She didn't pull away. After a long silence, her voice shaky, she asked, "Chen, do you have any candy?" I nodded and pulled some out. "You want candy? I only have mints. They aren't exactly gourmet. Just give it here." She snatched it, ripped the wrapper, and popped it in. The sharp mint hit her senses. She closed her eyes. She took a breath, regaining her usual icy composure. If this deal didn't matter so much for Chen An, I'd make sure that guy never worked in this industry again. "Hey you! Why are you here?" A familiar gentle voice called out. A man approached Anan. She replied, "Business dinner. You alone? I'm here with your godmother." "Anne, are you going to say hello to her?" Anne waved him off. "No. Let's not make everyone miserable." She tried to walk past, but he grabbed her arm. "Anne, it's been so long. Don't you miss home at all?" I watched him, curious. "Is this the guy I saw 4 years ago shopping for wedding dresses with her?" He looked familiar. Listening in, I stepped back. Why would I go home? They don't want me there. It's been 4 years. Your godmother was wrong, but Shen Heng, who do you think you are? What gives you the right to talk to me? She walked off, ignoring him. I backed away, terrified of getting caught in the crossfire. Why are they fighting? And why won't she go home? So strange. I figured I should clear out and head back to wait at the booth. But when I reached the door, the scene inside made me feel annoyed. I leaned against the wall, drifting into memories. Shu Anan's dimpled smile, how cute she was when she pouted, the way her eyes reddened when we broke up. And then, how calm and distant she was as my boss. I remembered every version of her so clearly, I couldn't forget. "What are you doing here? It's a bit awkward inside." She glanced at the booth, then told me, "I'll get your jacket. You settle the bill. Let's meet in the lobby." Anan used an emergency meeting as an excuse and took my coat. After I paid, I found a corner. Suddenly, a group walked out. In the center was her mother, talking to her so-called fiancé. I stayed in the shadows, hoping to remain invisible. As she walked out with my jacket, we collided. Evening. She paused. Mom, you knew I am your mother. You haven't been home in years. Are you done playing around? So, in your eyes, my life these past few years is just a game? You're as arrogant as ever. You think I'd ever want to be close to you? You are my mother, Anan. How can you talk to me like that? If you weren't my mother, do you think I would just stay away? Simple as that. She walked off, ignoring them. Her mother spotted the men's jacket in her hand. Shuan, stop right there. Who are you fooling around with now? And why didn't you greet Heng? You have no manners, none of your business. She left the hotel without looking back. Godmother, you know her temper. Don't be mad. Heng, it's her loss. You're the one marrying into our family. I waited until they were gone, before leaving my corner. I kept thinking about their argument. Why was she doing this? Was she unhappy with the arranged marriage? But she didn't refuse it, did she? Her mother clearly called Shen Heng the future son-in-law. Still lost in thought, my phone rang. I saw the familiar number and answered. What are you doing? Where are you? Coming now. In the garage, she leaned against the car, holding my jacket, looking down with a dark expression. Hearing my footsteps, she looked up. Where did you go? I told you to wait in the lobby. I made up an excuse. Just taking a call by the entrance. She nodded and got in. Seeing I wasn't moving, she gave me a weird look. Not getting in? Want to stay here all night? I got in. We drove on the highway. Song asked company or drop Chen off first. Take him home. Chen, where do you live? Hearing the name, she frowned. Song, what did you just call him? Chen, what's wrong? You two are close? Facing the boss's glare, Song panicked. I live near the office. You know Shanshui Apartments? Yes. On the way, she sat with her eyes closed, silent. I was busy wondering where my ring had gone. The office is huge. If it wasn't there, I'd never find it. Chen, we're here. I got out and said goodbye. Thanks, Song. Goodbye, boss. See you tomorrow. Anan watched me from the half-open window until my back faded from sight, then told Song to drive. She added, check if there are any vacancies in building 16 floor 8. Rent or buy. Do it within 2 weeks. Boss, you want to live there? It's close to work. Any issues? No issues. But why specifically floor 8? Can it be another level? You've been so indecisive since coming back. Just do it. In the empty villa, she sat on the sofa. She pulled the ring out, swinging it before her eyes. Just a cheap, tacky ring. Even looking at such a pathetic gift feels disgusting. If Chen saw it in the trash, he'd definitely fight me to the death. She showered, came back down for water, stared at the ring for a while, then leaned over to pick it back up. Back home, I walked in and Lightning pounced on me, wagging his tail. Exhausted, I hung up my coat and scooped him up. Sorry I'm late. I checked his food and water. He'd eaten, so I was relieved. I sat on the sofa with him. No lights. Just a small sense light I'd installed, because I worried about him being scared in the dark. I stroked him, the heartache bubbling up. Lightning, what do I do? I lost the ring my mother gave me. I can't hold on to anything. Not Shu Anan, not even that ring. I'm so useless. He sensed my sadness and licked my hand. I felt so low, only stroking him helped. I'm glad you're here. Otherwise, I don't know how I'd survive this longing. After a shower, I took him for a walk. I stopped at the convenience store. I asked for a lemon soda. As I was about to pay, I hesitated and added, and a mint, please. Thank you. Leaving the store, I put the drink in my pocket, the leash on my wrist. I remembered dating. Every time she saw me drink soda, she'd be curious, taste it, and wrinkle her nose. Ugh, that's so bad. Watching her do that, I'd feel so sweet. I couldn't help but want to kiss her. Chen, you're such a flirt, I sighed. But that's all just a memory now. It'll never be like that again. Back home, I untied Flash's leash. I sat on the floor and flicked on the TV. It was my favorite show, but my head wasn't in it. I just kept stroking his head. I whispered, Flash, maybe I should find you a stepmom. He yelped twice, like he understood. Not a fan? Yeah, me neither. I guess it's just you and me. Since it was Saturday, I skipped work to deep clean the place. I dropped a pin in the group chat, inviting Ye Junhao and the others over for hot pot to break in the new home. I told Flash to stay put. Daddy's going to grab groceries, then I'll make you something good. The market was nearby. On the way, I kept venting. Shu Anan is totally crazy, ramming my car for no reason. Great, now I'm stuck walking. What a pain. Maybe I should just buy another car. My hands were full of groceries as I grumbled my way back home. I looked up and saw a woman standing at my door. She looked about 30, with a box at her feet. I blinked. Meng Yue? What was she doing here, I asked. Yue, surprise visit? What brings you by? She grabbed the bags from my hands. I went back home recently, and my aunt sent some things for you. Had some free time today, so here I am. I used my fingerprint to unlock the door. Come on in. There are slippers in the cabinet. She brought the box inside and opened the cabinet. Seeing the lady's slippers, she sounded confused. Wait, you have women's slippers? Can I wear these? Don't touch them, or Flash will bite. Sure enough, Flash came bolting out of the room. Chao Chen, control your dog. It's been years. Why does he still go crazy when he sees me? I've told you so many times, I'm your cousin. Not your girlfriend. I heard her rant from the kitchen and couldn't help but laugh. Flash, come here. Stop biting. Good boy. I mean, I'm a fitness coach, and yet I'm scared of a pet dog. Hilarious, right? But I can't blame her for being scared. 3 years ago, when my uncle passed, I hugged my cousin, and this dumb dog bit me so hard I had to get a rabies shot. Flash, when will you realize I'm just his cousin, not his girlfriend? And Chen, my aunt says you should go on a blind date. What do you think? You want to go instead? You're really something. I swear I must have owed you in a past life. My reputation is ruined because of you. My friends think I'm gay and are terrified I'll hit on them. You're secretly loving it, aren't you? The doorbell rang. Meng Yue went to answer it, and there was Ye Junhao with 2 giant bags of food. He let out a grin. Hey, you're here too? He kicked off his flats, dropped the bags, and started petting the dog. Flash, did you miss your big brother Junhao? Miss me, huh? Hey, you're too much. You didn't have to bring all this food. Can't show up to dinner empty-handed. I rolled my eyes and asked, where's Fang Zheng? He still coming? Should be here soon, Ye Junhao replied, then turned to see Yue putting his shoes away. He sounded a bit awkward. Yue, sorry about that. You shouldn't have to put my shoes away. No big deal. I'm going to the kitchen to wash the veggies. You guys talk. Ye Junhao's eyes followed her back. Wake up. If you like her, just go for it. Don't worry, she's single. Forget it. I'm not confident enough. I'm scared of getting rejected. I looked at him, totally stunned. You? Not confident? Don't make me laugh. Who's the one texting her all that random stuff every day? Ye Junhao heard that, and his eyes started darting around the room. Not long after, Fang Zheng arrived with his girlfriend. A housewarming needs a cake. Wishing you joy and sweetness in your new home every day. Thanks, everyone. Please sit down. Right before we cut the cake, Ye Junhao pulled out his phone for a group shot. Come on. Photo before the cake. 3, 2, 1. Meanwhile, Anan had just finished swimming. She checked her phone and saw a screenshot from He Jiao on her social media feed. Wait, this dog thief you mentioned. He couldn't be your relative, Chao Chen, could he? This photo is great. Oops, looks like your relative Chao Chen found your dog a stepmom. Anan tapped into the chat. Nothing was on my feed. She checked the other 2 assistants' pages. It was the same picture. Anan dialed a number. Where did you get this? Chao Chen's feed. The line went dead. He Jiao muttered a curse. Fine. Chao Chen, your guts are getting bigger. You're actually blocking me on your feed now? Stealing my dog is one thing, but you're actually out there taking photos with other women? Just wait. Anan dialed again. Inside the apartment, Meng Yue just finished helping me clean up and was about to head out. The moment she opened the door, she froze. I saw the officer standing there. Hello? Who are you looking for? Hello, does Chao Chen live here? Yes, that's me. What's this about? The officer showed his badge. We received a report that you stole someone's dog. You need to come with us to the station to give a statement. I couldn't help but laugh. Yue looked at me, shocked. Chen, you stole a dog? I didn't know that. Isn't this your dog? I ignored Yue and asked the officer. Officer, can I ask if the person who reported this is surnamed Xu? Sorry, we can't disclose the reporter's identity. I nodded. Yue, can you wait while I get ready to go with them? They nodded. Yue stepped in. Officer, my cousin has had this dog for years. You can't just call it theft because someone lost a dog. Can you just leave? I'll go with him as a witness. Fine, bring the dog too. The door closed. Yue asked me, did your ex report you? That's what this looks like, right? Maybe. Didn't you have this dog since college? Why would your ex report you for stealing it? We raised it together. She paid for the dog. Yue followed me out. So, after you guys broke up, you took the dog, and she didn't know? Didn't you hear them? They said I stole it. Yue was speechless. She just tried to comfort me. It's okay. If she wants it, we'll just give it back. I'll buy you a new one. I said nothing. Once we got in the car, I stared out the window dazed. Yue asked curiously, Chen, do you still talk to your ex? How do I put this? I guess so. Well, do you or don't you? I guess so doesn't mean anything. I don't get you. Because she's my direct boss now. Oh my god, so she's reporting you just to mess with you? I really wanted to know that too. What was Anan playing at now? We pulled up to the station. I saw her standing outside, looking completely different from how she was at the office. Yue whispered, that's her, right? She's pretty, but why is she so cruel? Yeah, that's her. Yue, you should head back. I'll handle the rest. Anan didn't know Yue, but she was possessive. I was worried about how she'd treat Yue, so letting her leave was the safest move. No way. How can I leave you here alone? My parents would kill me. As I got out, the dog in my arms felt something and wouldn't stop fussing. I scolded him, a bit angry. You haven't even seen her and you're this excited? Flash, you're such a traitor. Soon you can go home with mommy. You won't see daddy ever again. As Yue and I appeared, Anan sneered and walked inside. A lawyer was waiting by her side. Before anyone could speak, Yue's phone rang. After the call, I said, you go ahead. I'll grab a taxi later. Yue didn't want to leave, but she had work and couldn't keep a big client waiting. Fine, just call me if you need anything. Stop being such a mother hen. Just go. My impatience in Anan's eyes looked like I was being intimate with another woman. Chen is actually letting another woman touch him? My heart hurt so much, but she couldn't do much right now. Anan glanced at her lawyer, who put documents on the table. Mr. Chao, these are the receipts for the dog Xu bought 6 years ago, along with the registration papers issued before the dog went missing. I rubbed Flash's head and asked, what proof do you have that this is your dog? All dogs of this breed look the same. What proof does Xu have? Flash has a scar on his right front paw. You can check, Mr. Chao. They needed to check the right paw. I put the dog on the table. Don't bother. The dog is hers, but I didn't steal it. We were a couple. even if she bought him, the dog, since we raised her together, taking her isn't stealing. Xuan had no idea I went back to the apartment 4 years ago. He was too busy grieving our breakup and searching for the lost dog to notice. The officer went quiet for a moment before saying, Mr. Chao, Miss Xu bought the dog. According to civil regulations, the dog belongs with her. I nodded, saying nothing, while Xuan's lips curled up. She tapped her fingers on the table and called, Lightning, come here to mommy. The dog, who had been circling me, bolted right into Xuan's arms. What a little traitor. After years of raising her, she just dumped me like that. I stood up and asked, can I go now? The officer told the woman to finish the paperwork. I didn't even look at the dog again. I turned to leave, but Xuan got up with the dog and reached out. Wait, give my things back. I stopped, turning back in confusion. What things? You wanted the dog, you have her. I didn't take anything else. Xuan bit her lip and said, the leash and the charm, we made those together. You really don't want to return them? I'll just courier them to you. Is it that urgent? Why so eager? No need for the hassle. I will come with you to get it. She walked past me with the dog. I followed, but outside I hailed a taxi instead of getting into her car. Xuan was standing by the flower bed at my building, staring blankly as the dog circled her feet. I walked past, entered the lobby, and pressed the elevator button. She followed me in. We rode up in silence. Just as I reached to press my fingerprint on the door, she asked, 4 years ago, did you come back to the apartment wanting to make up? I paused, then replied, you're overthinking it. I was just passing by. She stepped closer, and I retreated until my back hit the door. Looking into my eyes, she said, passing by? Chen, your mouth is as stubborn as ever. You pass by, take the elevator, and happen to walk away with my dog? When you took Lightning, did you even think about how much it would hurt me? I just told her I gave the dog back, didn't I? I faked a calm tone, which only made Xuan's face flush with anger. Then, without a second thought, they rose on their tiptoes and kissed me. The second those warm lips touched mine, I wanted to pull away, but something held me back. Caught in that storm of emotions, my hands found their way around their waist, and I kissed them back. It has been 4 years, Anan. Do you think you are the only one hurting here? Since you walked right into this, I am not holding back. Then, Anan sank her teeth into me. You forced a kiss on me, and I was so mad I just laughed. Then Wei Dui sneered, look closely, princess, see who really started this. I shoved him back, bolted, and swung the door open. I didn't even check if Anan was still there. I just slammed the door shut. She stood outside, stunned for a moment, then stomped her foot in a rage. Chen, you are the worst! I hate you! Meanwhile, right beside us, the lightning flashed. Scratching at the door, Anan stroked his head in silence. Moments later, the door creaked open. I stood there, 2 heavy bags in hand. Everything you wanted is right here, I told him. Snacks, toys, the works. I know you have the cash to buy him new things yourself. Those are his favorites. Wait until he's settled before buying new ones. I've dry cleaned that suit you gave me too. And Shu, you've got so much heavy gear. Just call your driver to come help you carry it. You won't be able to manage all that alone. My voice caught. Why was I even fighting this? I knew the dog was with him, but seeing a Cheng so intimate with someone else just twisted my gut. So, I only acted out to get his attention, but it seems I messed up. Well, you've got your things, so go. Don't come by my place ever again. As I went to shut the door, a hand blocked it. Yuan Anhong, eyes rimmed with red, asked, Achin, do you really have to draw such a hard line with me? Didn't you start this, Shui Anan? Everything between us is back in your hands now. Please, right now, get out of my house. Chao Chen, that's not what I meant. Just listen, let me explain. You can have the Shengdian back, alright? Take it. Stay away from my place, Anne. I don't want to see you. Hearing that, I started punching in my door codes, desperate to settle this face-to-face. One wrong code after another. I felt like I was snapping. Finally, I just hunched over, wrapping my arms around myself. The tears wouldn't stop. It felt like every ounce of longing and hurt was finally pouring out. Once Anan calmed down, she turned to leave. From the window, I watched her walk away, clutching the dog and her things. I finally retreated into the living room. After I was inside, she paused, lingering for a long time, staring up at the 8th floor window. I headed inside, opening the door to find my suit bag sitting there. I pulled it in, shut the door, and sank onto the couch. Reaching into the drawer, I grabbed a lollipop. The sweet taste hit me instantly. Outside, Xuanan was loading the dog into the car. Lightning, thrilled to be reunited with his mom, was buzzing with excitement. He had no clue he just lost his dad. What was he so happy about? I was stung, my heart was aching, yet he was beaming. Was this all your fault? You little traitor? I'm just a handsome, quiet dog. Why are you blaming me? I pulled out my phone and messaged Chao Chen. Chen, I was wrong. Please, don't be mad. I'll bring Lightning back to the door and leave. The moment I hit send, a red exclamation mark popped up. Xuanan froze, then felt a wave of pure irritation. Putting aside that I was his ex-girlfriend, even if I wasn't, I was still his boss. Chao Chen, you've got some nerve blocking your own superior. Fuming, she took it out on the dog. I pinched Lightning's face and clicked on the pinned contact named Baby. Chen, I'm sorry. My world collapsed again. Another red exclamation mark. Xiao Song watched in the rearview mirror, confused by the dog shaking its tail and his boss on the verge of tears. Isn't that the dog from Chen's social media? How did Boss Xu end up with him? Boss, did you steal Chen's dog? Shut up, you talk too much. Xiao Song was hit with a sharp, inexplicable glare. He dumped me without a word, then sneakily returned to the apartment to steal the dog. And to think he was being so cozy with another woman. I hate him. My Chao Chen, I truly hate you the most. Since returning Lightning to the police station and blocking Anan, the house felt cavernous. The corgi wasn't there to stick to me, and I'd gone through several bowls of instant noodles. Monday arrived as usual. I walked into the office, daily reports in hand, face blank. Boss, this is the schedule for the week. If that's all, I'll head back. Unblock me. We need the work group for communication. We don't need private contact. As I turned, his voice drifted toward me. We raised Lightning together for 4 years. You can just let that go? I didn't stop walking, even though my heart was sour and aching. He bought the dog, but those 4 years that companionship was all mine. The pain of being forced to break up. I couldn't say a word about it. Now he was demanding I come back, all while asking if I could just let go. It was a knife to the heart. After work, heading out, there's a future waiting for us. Let me take you out to distract you once the dog is gone. No, need, take me home, and order me a black Wuling. From the corner of my eye, I saw Anan in a Maybach, staring us down. The week flew by. By Friday, Anan summoned me to her office. I need to head to headquarters for a week. Here's my address. Come by every night after work to walk the dog. I wanted to refuse, but my heart was set on the little guy. Lately, I'd been dreaming of that breakup 4 years ago. When I cruelly said I didn't love him, it was all forced by Xu and Shenheng. They had held my late parents' property and Anan's future over my head to force me to walk away. I had no other choice but to agree. Pulling myself together, I said coldly, "Understood, boss. I'll book my flight." Once I confirmed Anan had taken off, I immediately hailed a cab to the villa area. The housekeeper, Wang Yi, opened the door, and Lightning jumped all over me. Wang Yi laughed. He was just brought back and has been fussing for days. This is the first time I've seen him this happy. For 5 days, I left work early to play with the dog. Every time, the hospitality made it hard to refuse, so I'd end up eating there before leaving. Friday evening, Anan returned. I brought snacks over to wrap things up, only to see Shenheng in the living room, acting exactly like the man of the house. "Mr. Chiao, sit down and let's talk." "Anan, there's no need. I'm just here to feed the dog on orders. I'll leave when I'm done." I deliberately avoided Lightning as he trotted over, wanting no part of Shenheng's drama. After I left, I suddenly remembered Lightning needed his shot tomorrow. I turned back to remind them, only to see Shenheng dragging the dog toward the lake. Lightning was terrified of water. What was he doing? I followed quietly and saw it with my own eyes. Shenheng pretended to slip and intentionally let Lightning fall into the freezing lake. It was April, and the water was bone-chilling. I didn't think twice. I dropped my things and dove in. After hauling the shivering dog to safety, I swung a fist straight at him. 4 years ago you forced me to leave Anan, and now you take it out on my dog." He raised his hand, but I caught his wrist. No time to argue. Lightning was clearly terrified, so I rushed him to the animal hospital. After settling the dog, I got home soaking wet with a fever. The house was empty of medicine, so I ordered delivery. When the doorbell rang, it was Anan. He touched my forehead, snapping, "Going into that lake was reckless enough. Did you have to find the filthiest spot?" Dragging myself into the water at midnight was my own choice, but I was too miserable to argue with him. I was annoyed by his lecture. He wandered inside and spotted a pair of women's slippers in the rack. His gaze shifted immediately. He paused, hesitating before asking about a girlfriend. I couldn't be bothered to explain, so he assumed I'd confirmed it. Still, seeing how sick I was, he held back his questions, pulled out some medicine he'd brought, and made me swallow it right in front of him before sitting down. He sat beside me and said, "I saw everything on the villa security footage." I let out a cold laugh, digging right into his sore spot. "Are you here to settle scores for your fiancé Shuzong?" That engagement was my mother's obsession. I never agreed to marry Shenheng. "I've uncovered the truth about why you were forced to leave me back then." As he spoke, he suddenly gripped me and bit my shoulder. To get away, I called Meng Yue and told him I had a fever and needed someone to take care of me. Anan heard. He heard the tone I used with Meng Yue, and his face went dark. I stubbornly refused to look at him, so he turned to leave, but ran into Meng Yue at the elevator. Meng didn't notice Anan and just walked past, muttering to himself. He whispered about me kicking off the covers while I had a fever. Anan heard that, and the bitterness was written all over his face. He left and went home to drink alone. His father called, still demanding he marry Shenheng to secure the corporate inheritance, just like before. "You used Ji Chen to force our breakup back then, so don't even think about controlling my marriage now. I won't let Shenheng's actions go unpunished." I lay on the sofa, the truth laid out before me, standing between us. It wasn't just our pride anymore. There was a web of complicated family affairs, overbearing elders, and malicious schemers. With Shenheng still under observation at the hospital, I wondered what would happen between Anan and me next. Should we keep moving forward or just drift apart? I honestly have no idea.